work. There's a lot happening, but I wanted to kind of just get on here and talk about it a little bit because I feel like there's some conversations that I want to have, and this is the best format to do it. Number one, I want you to notice that I've slightly changed things just a little bit, and that is I added the word network. There's a reason behind that. The reason I added the word network onto my channel is because I believe it is going to be multiple channels in under one network. So I may have, Boy Dad, which is a bunch of funny clips about raising boys, but I have a gardening section that's about, gardening tips and things like that. But I also have living in Norman. I'm going to have a travel area. So when I travel, I'll get to tell you places to visit, amazing food to eat, and all the things like that when we go places. I'll be uploading some more content to that. So each area is going to have an interest that maybe you find interesting. So please watch the network, subscribe to the network, then you can pick your channels that you like and watch those videos so that you can just be in that space that you want to be in. Of course, I always will encourage you to check out all of them. I have self-help. I've got things for how to have a better life. I've got all things on real estate. I've got, all kinds of different things in the network. So check out my network, the Future Growth and Vision Norman Network, and see all the different channels underneath. That's fantastic. Now, the question I have today is, we are currently experiencing record-breaking sales taxes being collected. So our businesses are getting more sales taxes than they've had in several years. Last year was stratospheric. We are really close to that. So we are consistently now over the last couple of years in an absolutely exponential growth pattern of sales taxes that are coming in. Yet we're watching the feeds in the news that say all these businesses are closing. We've got restaurants that are closing. Actually, quite a few restaurants that are closing. We have small businesses that have closed. And so it's a super confusing time in Norman to be like, hold on a minute. We are losing restaurants, but yet our sales taxes are stratospheric. So what's happening? I thought, let's look at some of the possible answers to those questions. One of the answers that I'm looking at is that we are going through what I call a post-pandemic transformation. And that is, people decided during the pandemic that they were going to make a decision about life. So we have several people that have decided that, you know what, it is time for them to retire. Maybe they weren't going to retire. Maybe they were going to stay on longer than they anticipated. But after the pandemic, they just decided now's the time. We want to get out of the business. We don't want to be in the business anymore. So we're going to change our mind. Now, there's a second group. The second group is it costs a lot to do business. And so guess what? They are not able to keep up with the cost of doing business. They simply are not producing enough to make enough money to stay open. By the way, that is the nature of business. The nature of small business is that some will close. And in the restaurant industry, it's high. The level of restaurants that succeed are not as many as fail. So that is a very real conversation that we need to have about where do you shop? Where do you eat? Do you eat locally? What kind of local restaurants do you eat at? Where at? And if you love them, you have to eat there. If you don't eat there, you can love them all you want and not eat there, they're going to close because there's going to be no money for them to stay open. So there's that. Now we have new businesses that are doing really well. And so we're looking at the ties to the community. We're looking at business creators. We have people that are buying multiple businesses in different arenas, and they are exponentially growing. So again, we have this growth trajectory. We also have these businesses closing. We have all the seeds. We have been planting seeds for the last, I would say, 5 years of things that are about to grow, that are about to absolutely transform the city of Norman. I've been talking about this for a while. I will continue to talk about this as it is happening because this network is going to keep up with what Norman is doing. I will let you know that I will have a list of just the ribbon cuttings that we've done in the last 60 days coming up soon. Just so you know where we are going and where we have been, I want to always celebrate our leadership, whether it is our political leadership, our city council, our mayor, our economic development leadership, whether it is NEDC and the Chamber of Commerce, of course, the Visit Norman leadership, our small business leadership, our community members, the people that live here. We could not be where we're at without you, right? We could not be where we are without you. It is imperative that you recognize that you're super valuable to what we do and who we are. So whether you are building, adding onto your house, shopping in Norman, bringing people to visit you in Norman, or going to events like Second Friday or live music, something that's coming up. Meanwhile, we're bringing more and more people to the city. Every time they come to the city, they get an opportunity to see us, meet us, and ask themselves a question. Do they want to become a part of our city? We want them to answer yes. We want them to be a part of the city. Now, our growth areas, I recognize I've talked extensively about that. If you want to watch anything about growth, I promise you, you can get on the channel and watch other videos about that. I'm not going to harp on it because, again, I've done hours and hours about the incredible growth opportunities here in Norman and what can happen. And I'll see if I can find some links and add them in so you can have them on this video as well. I mean, it's sunny out. It is a beautiful sunny day out. I can tell you right now, I want people out on patios, which we got patios all over the city. Whether it is Mexican food patios, or we've got live music, or maybe a margarita, or you want to go have a swirl at the Mont, or I mean, there's so many patios to be out there. We have a park system that's phenomenal. So what can you do? Oh wait, you can go grab cheese from Forward Foods. You can go and get a cheese plate, maybe go grab a bottle of wine from either Native Spirits or Canadian River, and then you can buy locally, shop locally, and live locally, which again recycles all of that money into our economy, which is fantastic. I love that. Local businesses, they are not lying, are the ones who support your teams, who you go to for donations. It's important to kind of give back to them. That is very important. We are a extreme recycling city. Why? Because we recycle at a high percentage. That is very, very important. We also are a construction city. You're like, oh yeah, no kidding. If you don't believe it, some of our best city, like our city accoutrement or our city beautiful things that we have, we've got cranes. We got a lot of cement trucks going places, and we have cones, and we have barrels. That's right, we have all those things. And we have a whole bunch of roads being built. Why? Because when you're a fast-growing city, you have to have the infrastructure necessary to continue to grow. We also have everything's being redone, reconfigured, and the jewels that we have are growing. So when we look at things like the Norman Music Festival, it's going to get bigger. When we look at what the Sooner Theater has planned, incredible things are coming. As when we look at all of our art, oh my goodness, we have invested in art, and it shows just by driving around our city. I encourage anyone to bring their phones, bring their cameras, and do an art tour of Norman. It is phenomenal. We got fantastic murals. All of our forward projects have big art pieces with them, so you can go take pictures with huge art pieces. That is amazing. As well as we have a amazing lake right outside of our city. Lake Thunderbird is going to be also getting revisioned, which is coming up soon. Our music is like nobody else's. It's fantastic. Again, I have talked about that in the legendary music that we have in Norman. So make sure, make plans to go to our live music venues. Did you get a stamp or a passport of all the live music venues? I mean, we need to be able to do that. We need to tell people, you know what? And I have said this, and I'll say this on here too. You're not a real musician if you haven't been in Norman and played our legendary venues. I think you really need to, because the bands and the musicians that have come there, you can see their careers. They play hard audiences. They come where people love to watch live music, and they do a good job and they bring their A game. And we love to have you here. We've had some closings in the brewery space. I said whether it's Black Mesa, we had Equity that is announcing their closing. Again, I think we have to look at that and go, okay, what have they done well? What haven't they done well? If it's marketing and PR, then guess what? We need to figure out what that marketing PR formula is. Whether they're community tied, how tied to the community they are, or whether it's just they want to be done and they want to go do something else, which might be true. And I think that's a very honest conversation to say too. Say, I'm done with what I want to do right now and I don't want to do it anymore. I think that is simple for people to say, and I think they ought to be able to say it, and we ought to be able to be like, okay, that makes sense. There is so much coming. There's so much happening, and there will be things happening on a daily basis. I will be covering as much of it as I can on this network. I will also be doing things again in the gardening space. I'll be doing things in the travel space, economic development. I will bring in some channels. I look forward to introducing you to some people that either do real estate in Norman, but they also do some content on YouTube, which I think is important. I will be looking for other content creators that enhance my network and make it better, and that you will be able to be a part of that as well. So there is a build out. There is going to be a vision for this. I will be working on my 5-year plan for this particular network. So if you're thinking about things that you want to add to it, please let me know. Either private message me or put it in the comments below so we can start those conversations, because it's going to take a little bit of time. We're not jumping into anything. So I want to do that. I will continue to make regular content. I love doing Boy Dad. I'm really seriously thinking about doing either a 30-minute half hour of Boy Dad so that I could do like a quick, like a short YouTube stand-up situation where I can talk about raising boys, because it is a treat. It is just a treat. And if you don't have boys and you don't notice my winking, yeah, you'll notice. It's been phenomenal. I also want to walk you through and take you through things in life, whether it is how to be a better parent, how to be a better dad, what you can do to be a better husband, what you can do to just share joy and hope, because I want us to look at some positivity, because there's so much negativity and chaos coming at us from every direction. I want to be a light in that. I want to be an opportunity for you to get better and be better. So again, I have a channel that is directly geared towards that. I did rename my playlist by the channel name, so you will see that changed a little bit. So if you haven't been on my channel in a little while, or you're coming back, welcome back. Check it out. Make sure that you are subscribed so you get the latest content coming out. Also, go look around. Go check it out. I've got a lot of shorts, so if you want to do something that's just like a 1 minute at a time short deal, it's quick. You can do it on breaks and just check it really quick and then be done. Of course, I want to thank everybody for the incredible support I've had in the last like 60 days to 90 days. Exponentially, my channel is growing. The views are growing huge very quickly. I appreciate that. Keep watching. There will be more for you to see, I promise. And I know that you'll be excited about what we have coming up. I will get better as I learn. Likewise, you can grow with me. And I think it's best when we walk hand in hand and grow together. So I'm looking forward to the growth of Norman, the growth of this network, and of course, you to grow along with me. So come along, enjoy, and welcome to the Future Growth and Vision Norman Network.